Welcome back, everyone. It's the Dreamhack Dota 2 Invitational. It's game number 2 between no Tidehunter and Fnatic. Game number 1, even going into it myself, I was a little bit of a Fnatic fanboy. I said I think they're going to win. Not 2-0 necessarily, but Trance was right. He's not a bandwagoner. He's not a sheep. He's his own man, a Romanian man with very, very fancy hair. But it's game number 2 now, and Fnatic have a chance to tie things up 1-1. So before we get into the draft, I wanted to ask everybody, what do they think? Well, we kind of went over what we thought about first game, but Game 2, who do you think is going to take it?
Well, it should be a wake-up call for Fnatic. They're in a tight spot right now because they have to win.
Yeah.
If they don't, I mean, even if they lose this game, they still have a chance. Like, you never know. Until the last game, you can always end up in third spot. But, I mean, they feel pressure. And Fnatic are really, really good at playing when they're under pressure. So, yeah.
Let's see how these teams do.
Let's see how these teams do, how they're facing each other. That's great. So we have Fnatic and Tidehunter. Fnatic, 154 games played, 58% win rate. Tidehunter, newer team, 95 games played, 67-28, 70% win rate. Most of it during this last month and a half, they've been amazing. They faced each other 7 times. NTH won in the Premier League 4-2-0, and they won in the EMS Cup where they've been winning pretty much against everyone, 1-0. Fnatic won the D2L 2-1, and the Defense 3 in the group stage 1-0. And now we're moving into the team. Yes, no Tidehunter. As you all know, it's Aki, Admiral Bulldog, as far we introduce the players, Loda and EGM. But I mean, look at the best heroes. I mean, they've been amazing. It's like 5-0 with Night Stalker, 11-2 with Chen, now 12-2, 10-2 with Keeper of the Light. Even the worst heroes aren't really that bad. If you look at, well, 2-4, it's, yeah, I mean, it's not great, but it's not 0-6. Having said that, they do have particular problems. I mean, slight problems against Chaos Knight and Wisp, because as we see both of them in the wars against, it seems like they might have problems struggling against these kind of global lineups. But, I mean, still, it's not that big of a number just to be worried or concerned about. On the other hand, they're best against, like, random heroes, Clock, Beastmaster. It seems they're really good against offlaners. So
well, off-laners are very, very influential, either mid and Panda and the Beastmaster, I guess, too. Clockwork is more the off-laner, though, so yeah. I agree there.
Anyways, I want to run one last poll before the game starts. Actually, the game is starting, and we're going to that. But we're going to show... Trans is going to show you a poll right now. It's really, really simple. I want to try this again. When you see this poll, you vote. When I say, please stop voting, please stop voting. So it's really easy. You have to write in chat, who's going to win game 2? NTH, Fnatic. Just that. No NTH, HH or whatever. Yay, Fnatic. Just NTH or Fnatic. Write that. We're closing the poll in 1 minute. And we'll see if this works this time. I don't know. So
let's hope so. Yeah. It's going to be my name anyway. You know that, right? Like, it's just going to randomly draft for 100%. It's how it's going to work.
100% sure.
So, of course, we have the draft now. This is game number 2. No Tidehunter. Very convincing. Game 1 win. We're going to go over the bans really, really quick here. Fnatic, of course, Radiant for Game 2. They've banned out the Chen. They've banned out the Batrider. Maybe not thrilled with the way Batrider worked for them in Game 1. They're going to take Lone Druid and Phantom Lancer in the first 3, so there's definitely a lot of carry potential between those two. And no Tide, they're going to ban out Nyx, Wisp, and they've decided to take themselves a Keeper of the Light, who, as we just saw, Bruno, very, very high win rate. I think it was 10-2. Yes. And then, of course, Mag on the side as well. So you're going to have S4 playing on the Mag, and you're going to have a chance to see either EGM or Ake playing that Keeper.
I believe Ake most of the time plays it, but of course, wouldn't be surprised to see EGM picking up as well, since they're both support players. But feels like Fnatic, with that early Phantom Lancer, felt more of a denying the Phantom Lancer from no Tidehunter than actually having a plan with it. Kind of the same with Lone Druid, even though they played both of those heroes a lot, and they do favor them a lot, it still felt like both of the heroes were picked up to deny no Tidehunter not getting them.
Yeah.
And then they got with the Rubik, because their third pick, the Rubik, actually took quite some time for them to pick up. So I'm not saying they're going to play bad with them. I just want to see what other heroes they want to try and match up with them.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, Keeper of the Light, Phantom Lancer, it's kind of like they go with each other so unbelievably well. And you're playing against the Mag. Getting the Rubik before they get a chance to ban it out and take it themselves allows you to be able to steal RP in fights. So it's still really, really strong. And even stealing stuff like Illuminate can be nice. So no Tide, they're going to go ahead and take up a Bane. And when you see a Bane, typically that's an aggressive pick. It's not something that we see in a defensive position too often, but they also have a Keeper of the Light. Now, I'm not going to say that Keeper of the Light offensive tri-lanes never work, but a lot of the time, they're very difficult to apply a lot of pressure with, because if you're trying to pressure with a Keeper, there's a good chance you're taking away from your carry's farm. And that's just the inherent weakness. But we have seen in the past lanes like the Windrunner, Earthshaker, Keeper tri-lane just completely dominate the early game because there's so much range spam that you can't do anything. Of course, here, it's not going to be the case. So for No Tide, do you figure aggressive tri-lane, or do you feel like it's too early to tell, might need to see the carry first?
You can stop voting now. Please go on.
Okay. I'm not sure, to be honest. Like you said, Bane, most of the times we actually see in aggressive tri-lanes, but no Tidehunter is quite versatile, though. So we'll just have to wait and see what they want to pick up. If we see a dedicated offlaner, like a Bounty Hunter or a Clock or something like that, we're most likely going to see a defensive one. But depending on the carry they pick up, we'll have to see if they're going to go for something aggressive or something defensive. But I mean, it's a high possibility with that Bane that we'll see an aggressive, even though, like you said, with the Illuminate, you're going to push in the lane, you're going to deny some farm from your carry, but you can still deny quite a bit from a Phantom Lancer if the Phantom Lancer is going to be in the safe lane, which is very nice.
Second ban phase rolling out currently. No Tidehunter. They're going to go ahead and take out Enchantress. Void, banned out by Fnatic, along with Bounty Hunter, and No Tide are actually going to ban Lifestealer themselves, so maybe just not willing to play against the ultra late game potential that Fnatic could put together with those three heroes. And it's important to keep in mind that as crazy as that ban seems, Fnatic could still run it, because they have a Lone Druid. They could put him in the off lane. They could either do that, run an aggressive tri-lane maybe, if Fnatic is anticipating No Tide running an aggressive tri-lane to dodge it, and then you could just have a Lifestealer jungling or even safe laning on his own accord in that case. So, on the side of No Tide, they're still lacking their carry. Fnatic definitely need a mid, probably a secondary support. The one concern I see, again, though, for 2 games in a row on the side of Fnatic is that their teamfight potential, they have one disable outside of Entangle, and that's Telekinesis.
Yeah, so they kind of got to get some more stuns if they want to, or just like overall disables. Maybe a Tidehunter would be a good team fight hero, but is it going to fit into the lineup? That's the big question. Like how many heroes do you have in the pool right now that actually fit into the lineup of Fnatic with the 2 heroes they picked up with the Lone Druid and Phantom Lancer? It's quite hard to match up the big team fight heroes against it, or with it, I mean.
People have spoken. Who's going to win between Fnatic and NTH? This is game number 2. People actually favoring Fnatic. Really, really close, though. Yep. 51.5% to 48.4%. That doesn't add up to 100%. Anyway.
That's close enough.
It's not close enough, Bruno, man. I was 100%. You're telling me this whole poll can't even be 100%?
Have you ever heard of the concept of being undecided?
Nah, there was no one decided.
And
there,
you
though.
get the percentages that were left. That's how it goes.
Okay, I see. It makes sense now. All has become clear. NTH actually decides to ban out an Earthshaker, so perhaps they're just unwilling to play against the very defensive, spammy nature of the hero. And of course, Phantom Lancer, once he gets some levels, people call him a weak laner, but he still adds a pretty reasonable amount of DPS to a lane, especially when you're trying to focus somebody down. And when you're against heroes like Keeper, it's actually pretty easy to pick them because their HP is not that fantastic. So if you ever get caught out, there's potential that you could get killed by that particular combination. And that also leads me to believe that No Tide really do want to run an aggressive try here. Why ban out such a defensive stunning hero if you don't plan on going directly head-to-head with Fnatic's Phantom Lancer?
Yeah, the Earthshaker Fisher is just so long, being able to block out all the aggression, as well as maybe even getting a counter kill if you manage to block one hero on the right side of the Fisher. But I believe that Fnatic's actually ran something similar with the Phantom Lancer. I don't believe they had the Rubik then, but they had the Phantom Lancer in mid with the support, and then they ran an Earthshaker Windrunner in the safe lane, having the Earthshaker protect the Windrunner that was farming. So could be something like that as well, because they like to run the Earthshaker as a defensive support for a farmer in the safe lane and then run the Lone Druid in the long lane instead. But we're going to see a puck being picked up. So I do wonder how they want to run this. At the moment, it looks like they're going to run the puck mid, and then the Lone Druid off lane, and then the Phantom Lancer in the safe lane farming. So most likely going to try and look for last support in their last pick. I'd say another teamfight hero as well. Even though puck is a really good disable, the question is it gonna be enough of disables, and is he gonna bring enough to the team fights that they'll have easy team fights to win?
No Tide, they're gonna take themselves a Beastmaster, and I agree. Just a lack of disables really seems to be the theme with Fnatic's lineup. Of course, this game they have late game like 100%. There's no way, unless that mag is hitting some Sujoy RPs, and many people probably won't get the reference. But regardless, a Phantom Lancer and a Lone Druid together after 35, 40 minutes, you're going to start having some serious issues on the side of NTH. And their damage output in the early game is enough to take it for them, and they definitely showed that they can make the right early game calls to win a game very, very quickly. So that's not taking anything away from them. It's just the inherent weakness of their draft.